Hello IGN and welcome to a very quick look at the August update for Splatoon. Now this is a big deal, and here to discuss it with me is Schneider.
Oh man, look at the bucket.
So the bucket has a name. It's called the Slosher.
It's the bucket.
And you can see here we're sloshing around. So I'm just trying to mess around with a bit of technique. It turns out that the best way to use this weapon is actually to aim up. So a good friend of ours, Corey from Nintendo, came by to show us this. And his basic advice was, not only is it better to aim up because you get some good distance, but also like you can shoot over an obstacle. So you can hide behind like one of those inflated sort of dolls in like one of the stages, like one of the cover, and look how much distance we got there. Like that's really good.
And it's got that potential, just like the brush, that you can spam it fast, like you can go really, really fast.
Well, it's still actually kind of slow, but you get so much out of it that it seems faster than it is, to be fair. I feel like with the brushes, some of them you just lightning quick.
Yeah, you can go super fast. You can't go quite as fast with this.
So we've got the ink strike on there, and we've also got the ink, one of the ink bombs. So here we're going to jump into squad battle. Now this is a big deal because this is part of the August update. We're going to see here that when you create a squad, if anyone else was playing, their names would be highlighted on this list. No one else is at the moment. So we are going to go ahead and create a squad here. Now you have some choices. You can go quad squad, which is the normal 4v4, and you can have your friends join. Now you can go tri-squad, but there is a warning with tri-squad that you might get matched up against a quad squad.
Wow.
So you'll be a man down. That's a possibility.
So if there are not enough players,
basically,
instead of letting you wait
forever.
They
warn you, you could be matched against this. There's a possibility you're at a disadvantage. Are you sure? Or if not, you can go twin squad, 2v2, which should be fun. We should do that.
Yeah, I've always wished for, maybe the next update to give you some sort of special reward if a player of your team drops out, right? Like if you finish and you win with 3 players, you should get something for that. More points, multiplayer or something.
So you may have seen that really quickly, but there was a password. You can put a password on the room if you want. So right now we have our squad. Our friends are going to join this squad right now really quickly. We're going to play on either Urchin Underpass or Black Belly Skate Park. Now, Urchin Underpass has undergone some changes, and we need to talk about that, but we're going to see more of that in a second. The rank is S on this file. This is not my file, but the ranks now go to S+. There was sort of a rank sort of lift.
Yeah, look at Clark there with his S+.
With his S+ and his
must be Clark Kent.
Yeah, possibly. There's definitely a Superman in that guy. And so, yeah, you're just getting a quick look at this here. I do want to point out a few other things. Now, the level cap gets raised.
You can see it here. Level 24, right?
Yeah,
we're already over level 20 here.
Thanks. Yeah, good catch. And there's new gear. Fun fact, new background music, and it's good, just like the rest of the music in Splatoon, which I have yet to find a song that I don't like.
I think it's just a really strong soundtrack. It reminds me of the Dreamcast era, kind of like Jet Grind Radio, Jet Set Radio, right? Like it's got the kind of the crazy tunes, and like the new songs are much more chiptune-y too. They sound like classic tunes from like Super NES.
Yeah. So here we go. So actually, I want to give you a minute to hear this. So we're going to pump up the audio right here. How about that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's really good stuff.
It's very cool. And you've obviously played on this level before. Well, kind of. We'll talk about that in a second.
So there are changes all over the place. Now, I don't do a great job of showing them to you, and I'm sorry, viewer. But I will say that behind me to the left is an opening that has never existed before over there, or it has, but it's been heavily changed so that there are more openings along the way. So there was just this one hallway that you can take that was basically sort of covered from the enemy.
You can see it here.
It's now open.
When you see it there straight ahead, you see some changes made to the level too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really cool. This is going to roll out for everyone. Now, obviously, we're playing Splat Zones, so we are trying to control the middle.
And so why do you think they made that change? Do you think just to control the battle a little bit more, like people took the shortcuts too fast to get to the front? Is that why?
I feel like the shortcuts were an easy, became sort of I don't know. It almost felt like you had to babysit those shortcuts because people can use them to sneak into your base so easily, and you really only had one choke point to shoot them from. Now you have 3. I definitely would believe that these changes were made in response to how people were playing. I mean, any good multiplayer design is trying to keep into account, like, hey, this is how we want people to play. And sometimes that isn't how it plays out after you make it, right?
Well, and it's a game designed around the gamepad, so you're supposed to look at your map and see where there's activity, right? Like, so if there's only one choke point, it just becomes this battle of attrition rather than being more about strategy and saying, hey, all the enemies are all going the left way, let's send 2 people to the right.
Yeah. And ultimately, I want to see how this affects Turf Wars, too, because I've won some games on Turf War just because I was aware of, oh, that shortcut's open, let me take that really fast, go over there.
Yeah.
Now that I'm much more exposed, I'm really curious to see how that goes. So, of course, you know, we have to control the center zone. The other team is obviously trying to take it from us right now. We have it. And this was a pretty long match. We basically went the full 5 minutes.
Yep.
But you're seeing, again, this the splasher is amazing. And you know with the pattern of how they've been... Now, they didn't say this, but you know with the pattern of how they're releasing variants of each weapon, you're going to see a splasher with other sort of perks attached to it, or other sort of... like right now, it's the Ink Strike as the special.
Which is super powerful, right?
Yes, super, super powerful. No, agree. We also got footage of the Splatling, but first I got to get splat by my boy Clayton over here using the Squelcher.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because this weapon, I mean, it's definitely... You know, you can tell it's not as powerful as like a a sniper, or like it's because it scatters more. It doesn't have the distance, so you're gonna have to figure out a different strategy to get to people. So Ink Strike is good. It's a good matchup for it because you can take somebody out who's sniping you from far away that you otherwise could not get to, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so that's just me. So I was trying to use that piece of cover a second ago and throw over it, and that's super useful. Obviously, splashing a tree is doing us no favors here. Chalk it up to nervous first time with the bucket-looking weapon thing, maybe.
You just like orange trees.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I like my trees orange, not blue. That was totally it. But ultimately, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of. Oh yeah, and there's a splat. That was a heavy splatling we just passed. Yeah. We're gonna get a quick shot at that on the next weapon. But yeah, you can just see here, like you could still get some decent distance out of it, and. From the test facility, 2 hits is all it takes. 2 full splashes will take out an enemy. So that's nice. And not dodging.
How would you say it's against a roller?
Well, clearly we have seen the answer, but I could have done better on the maneuverability there. I was too focused on just put the orange everywhere.
Yeah, that's where I feel like if there's a mine combo or something that lets you kind of retreat from a roller and lay down a mine or something, that'd be really effective.
Well, I wonder, too, how some players are going to adjust, because some people right now, they're using Splatter Shots or Splatter Shot Juniors in a way where they're constantly jumping. Or some of the other weapons, too, the more charge-based weapons. They're constantly jumping. And I just wonder if with the Splasher, can you still get some good lift out of it, or are you still able to get enough?
Yeah, it's
sort of going.
I mean, Splatoon's such a neat game because really, I mean, when it launched, it had a limited set of weapons. You know, you kind of fell in love with certain guns, or maybe you were the roller type and that's all you played. But you know, the moment the brush and more got added, really it added this tremendous sense of variety. Like you just never know what you're gonna expect. And like, look how compared to like any other first-person or third-person shooter, like how different these weapons are, you know?
And ultimately, that's sort of a huge reason why this game is so much fun, to sort of try different brushes, try different techniques, and learn ultimately how to paint. Now, wait till you see the victory celebration, because I think it is fantastic.
Not looking so good there.
No, we won. We took the second.
Really?
We had more than the other team.
Oh, that's
Trust
right.
me. Yeah. But check out that animation on the second character from the left. I love that. Just dribble it, right? Just spinning it on a finger like a basketball. I didn't do so hot.
Look at that. There's a level 49 in that team.
Ooh,
level 50 up there too.
Yeah, level 50 up there too. So there's been some changes. Yeah, they were testers actually. We played with them really quickly. I also love this full-on leather outfit, but we switched over to some different gear. Now this is the private match, and you're gonna see here you can also create a password. Basically, once your friends see you have a private room open, they can join. You can change the mode. You can change the stage. And you, the person who created the room, are responsible for setting teams.
Yeah. So that's the option in the lower left. So you basically can assign people to the different teams, right?
So you can actually kick off a game 1v1.
Yeah.
You don't have to have everyone else in the room.
You can do 1v3 if you want to, right? Like, you can totally customize.
I know 1v1. I was told you can. Probably 1v3 you could too. But
I think you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Which is cool at the end of the day. But anyone else who's joining has to wait until the match is over before they can jump in.
Yep.
So now you're gonna set teams as the person in charge. Now I will say this is where it gets a little weird. Obviously, you're gonna have to use outside means of communication to be able to set who's on what team because you're not gonna have a way to talk in the game.
Yeah. But yeah, you saw that.
Sad reality, but you can choose.
You can. I mean, just now you could do really lopsided teams if you want to do it, which is great. Like, you know, if you're playing against kids or something, I don't know, maybe somebody's crazy enough to have 4 Wii U's in one house.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will say though, like, it'll be fun to play Turf War with our friends and not get switched around on teams with total strangers, because that's been the bummer for me, right? Like, Turf Wars is a great mode, but it does bum me out that we get separated every once in a while, like either when you and I play or when, you know, myself and some other friends play. Like, that seems to be happening a lot.
So is there anything that protects players from just kind of experience point farming, or like?
Oh, you can't earn anything.
So there's nothing in this, right?
So in the other mode that we saw, Squad Battle, you can rank up by the normal means. However, it's capped at S rank. If you want S+, you have to play regular ranked mode to get it. You cannot do it through Squad Battle. Octopi on the wall. So this is the heavy Splatling. This thing is just full-on Terminator. I love it. Just get up on top of a surface and go full-on Arnold.
I am so worried that this is overpowered. Look at that. You can see the icon in the center, right? Like the reticule. You can see how it empties the spinny thing.
Yeah, there's 2 layers of charge. When you let it go, that's the duration of fire. So you can charge up partially and then let go. You could even tap it and it'll fire tiny bullets, but they don't go very far. Ultimately, it's not super useful unless you have some distance, but it feels like it has more distance than most splatter shots. I don't know if it outshoots the Squelcher yet. I'm not entirely sure.
But it's fairly, I mean, it slows you down. You can see
it slows you down.
You're not that fast, but it does look really powerful, and especially again here, this combination again with Ink Strike, right? That is going to be a gnarly opponent to face.
So in a later match, they put the leather jacket on, the leather boots, the motorcycle. I got the aviators on, and I was just hanging out on top of a building, just shooting down.
Yeah, you can see some of the range here. You can see how fast you can shoot.
Really far, and it's really strong. That said, you have to. I think I get this guy. Yes,
there you go.
We got him. Take that, Tony. Tony gets revenge a lot of times in here. But yeah, no, it's Clark put a stop to that. The magical S+ Clark. But yeah. You're also a lot slower moving, but you do have an Ink Strike to work with. I didn't toss out my sub-weapon, but I believe... I can't remember off the top of my head, so I probably shouldn't bring that up. Yeah, but you're seeing... so during my time, I also heard at least 3 new tracks.
Oh, yeah?
Which was kind of fun. Yeah, I like that. All, you know, sort of chiptune-y, although one of them was a really different style of sound, and I cannot remember off the top of my head if it was blues or something just very different.
Yeah,
I was like, "Whoa, this is rad."
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I mean, it means like even if you have your favorite weapon, you know, like these kind of content releases just make you try something new, right? Like you might never switch away from a weapon from the first set, but just getting these new ones in there gives you an incentive to try them out. And then I think it's kind of nice to be able to just play with friends and not have to worry about anything. You know, you can really get used to new weapons and train or try out the levels.
Yeah,
so
not just think about ranking or going up. Although that's a nice benefit too, and I think Squad Battle does exist for that. Interestingly enough, though, Squad Battle is only for the ranked playlist. It does not do anything for sort of the regular Turf Wars. You can't do Turf Wars in a Squad Battle. But anyway, there you have it. Watch this adorable ending to this ending animation, which is really good. This was just a standard game of Turf Wars. And as always, you are in the right place for Splatoon coverage. What website is that?
It's called IGN, Jose.